So what about your students? What emotional journey do they have when they turn up to your lesson? And also throughout your lesson. But how are you going to help them be in a good emotional state for all the right reasons at the end of their learning journey with you? They're going to fail. How can you help them recover? They might want to give up. How can you help them want to stay in and focused on learning by lending an ear, having that bedside manner, asking them what's on their mind? What are 2 things I could do to help you try again and be more confident and succeed? Because for this team here, not being as bad as the previous 2 occasions could have been a success for some people. But winning is great, but coming a close second can still be good if it's an improvement of where you were previously. There'll be things in your lessons you cannot control, but there are certainly things that you can influence, perhaps more things than you think possible. Command and control, our brains and all the chemicals within it can handle and manage command and control communication and behaviour in short bursts. It cannot and will not accept ongoing command and control communication and behaviour. Why? Because the brain rebels, and when the brain rebels, this is where the communication starts coming out not particularly productive. But command and control, the only time that people tend to want to accept it is when there's a pre-warning, a pre-framing that in this lesson we'll be doing some classroom-based activities, and also you'll be on the parade ground. Please bear in mind, today I'll be wearing 2 hats. In the classroom, I'll be collaborating, coaching and supporting. Out on the parade ground, for safety reasons, for structural reasons and for standard reasons, I will need to put on the hat of command and control. Do you all understand why I've shared that with you? What happens? They all start to create a meaning. He or she has been kind enough to tell me what's going to happen and how their role is changing and what I'll be expected to do differently. That makes sense. The heart and the brain go, fine. The problem turns up when they don't know it's going to happen. There's no collaboration, there's no empathy, and there's no structure. Please bear in mind that your brain, my brain, every human being's brain responds more productively and more effectively to invitations and requests than it does to commands, demands and instructions. I even invite you to wonder whether you are an instructor or whether you're a coach or an educator or a facilitator, because that will start to get you thinking about how can I facilitate learning rather than deliver stuff. Emotional intelligence is not about hugging trees. It's about managing your own emotions and helping other human beings in a certain situation manage theirs. You are not there just to instruct, just to educate. You're there also to direct your students' brains into positive emotions like excitement, interest, intrigue, motivation, hope. Because if you don't push their brain that way, it could end up anywhere. It could end up in a toxic dump of anxiety, stress, annoyance, frustration, anger, resentment. And who's right in front of them when they're having this? You. And because we feel before we think, it's a fight, flight or freeze approach. Fight, come on then, bring it on. You want to give me some, you want to control me, I'm going to control you. Have you ever driven down the road or even in a fire tender and there's been kids throwing bricks? Or they stand out in the middle of the road? They may not be being nice to you. They may just want to have power over you, to control you, to demonstrate their significance. That's fight. Flight is rabbit in the headlights. I'm going. I'm not sticking around here. It's too emotionally painful. I'm not getting what I want. I'm going. Freeze is, I don't know what to do. And it's that indecision. If I do this, I'm screwed. If I do that, I'm stuffed. I'll just wait here and hope nothing hits me. Indecision is a decision in itself. So if your default setting is command and control, switch it off for a while. Command and control when you need to, when it adds value. Otherwise, collaborate and demonstrate kindness. It's this law of reciprocity at its best. What you put out, you get back. Now, you might be thinking, he or she is an awkward student, he or she are a tough group. There's no such thing as a tough group, only if we perceive it that way. And it might not happen that they start being kind and collaborative with you straight away. But it will happen if you politely persist.